Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alfanine. So let's begin here. This article is on U.Today. It seems like every day we're getting some big news from Ripple. They continue to push forward. All right, so let's read this little bit here. It's titled, Ripple's Star Catch. Former Amazon CFO joins embattled company. Ripple, the San Francisco-based blockchain firm, announced that it had appointed former Amazon Chief Financial Officer, CFO, Warren Jensen to its board of directors. This team just continues to get massively powerful. I mean, I think they have the most heavy hitters as of now. Yeah, I believe that. I believe Ripple has the most heavy hitters. Don't get me wrong. Algorand has some heavy hitters, definitely. I know Cello put together a bang-up team, but they're nowhere near, no disrespect, but they're nowhere near the magnitude of what Ripple has put together. Ripple's at the top. Let's continue on. It says Jensen brings a wealth of experience from his stints at Amazon, Delta Airlines, NBC, Electronic Arts, and Nielsen, Nielsen ratings and such. A testament to Ripple's ambition of growing its global presence. And I'm sure that this individual comes with a lot of different connections. And in every industry, connections matter greatly. All right. People make phone calls, especially if they connect with you on, initially. If people like you, you have a good energy, you have good ideas, you have good performance, those connections can go a long way. People will make phone calls. They'll recommend you. Next thing you know, you're in a business meeting or you're somewhere, you're running into somebody. They heard of your reputation. It can bring in a lot of partnerships is what I'm saying. All right. It says, in addition to joining the board, Jensen has also been appointed chair of the audit committee, which oversees the auditing process of Ripple's operations. The addition of Jensen to Ripple's board is seen as a significant catch if to consider his impressive track record of managing financial operations for innovative market-leading companies. And I like that as well, that this individual is experienced under pressure. Believe me, there's going to be a lot of it. We need battle-tested people that will not break under the pressure, that can perform under pressure, that can land deals under pressure, that can maintain an innovative and flowing mind under pressure. This is all going to be crucial in the years to come. I don't think it gets easier from here. Sure, business can take off and hopefully XRP is going to explode. I personally believe that it will. But you have to understand that it's still going to be tough. And it only gets tougher from here because now you have to actuate on everything. You have to actually put things into play. Things are starting to flow. If anything goes wrong, you have to patch that up. Hopefully things don't go wrong. We have to continue to focus on bringing in new partnerships, expanding on-demand liquidity corridors, things like that. But Monica Long is on top of that as well. But we have to, even though the legacy system, they're going to continue to try to give us problems. But we must thrive and push through. And I believe that we will. Individuals like this is what we need, what you need when you want to be successful, or you yourself have to be an individual like this. Gather experience from a bevy of places. Obviously, you're working your way up. You're building your business. You never want to plateau. You want to continue to build and grow. And as you grow, you're gathering experience. Hopefully is good experience. Hopefully you learn from things that you've done wrong. But this person, Amazon, Delta Airlines, NBC, Electronic Arts, Nielsen, this is great experience. You definitely got some pressure at Electronic Arts. If you know anything about what they've been through over the years, having to rebrand them, not really rebrand themselves, but sort of repackage themselves as, there's certain things going on there. And bring interest back into their brand and such. Delta Airlines, NBC, of course, Amazon, of course, over the years. You're definitely going to feel a lot of pressure over there at Amazon. This person brings some very good experience, and they're going to be a heck of a positive for Ripple, in my humble opinion. But this is just my opinion. We'll continue to keep an eye on this, But everyone that's come aboard so far has shined and exceeded expectation, in my humble opinion. So the addition of Jensen to Ripple's board is seen as a significant catch. Okay, his appointment comes despite Ripple's ongoing legal skirmishes. Yeah, they're going to continue to expand. And we have things going on globally. That's the good part about being a global company, right? Jensen joins other respected figures on the board, including former U.S. Treasurer Rosie Rios, former J.P. Morgan Chase Chief Regulatory Affairs Officer Sandy O'Connor, and managing director of Albright Stonebridge Group, Michael Warren. Other esteemed members, hey, you're using my words, esteemed members. Hey, wait a minute. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Other esteemed members of Ripple's board include Susan Athey, Anya Manuel, Masashi Okuyama, and Craig Phillips. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse welcomed Jensen with enthusiastic remarks, stating that Warren's background would be invaluable, of course. Okay, so now let's move on here. If you want to read the rest of that, that's from U.Today, all right? They're doing a good job over there. They had a ton of good articles over there on U.Today. So now, one more from U.Today here, all right? It says, this article is titled, Coinbase asks judge to force SEC to regulate cryptocurrency market. I like how aggressive Coinbase has been. I like that they're being they're taking everything by the collar. They're not waiting. They're taking the bull by the horn, so to speak, and attacking a little bit. It says, in a remarkable escalation in the ongoing conflict between the crypto industry and the Securities and Exchange Commission, Coinbase has moved a federal court seeking writ of mandamus. The rarely invoked legal maneuver is essentially an official request for a court to command a party to perform its statutory duties, which the SEC has not. It says, in the given context, Coinbase's strategy employs a writ to the press, the SEC, into adopting clear regulations for cryptocurrencies. This audacious move suggests a last-ditch effort, as obtaining a writ of mandamus typically involves overcoming great legal hurdles. If I mispronounce that word, so be it. People are going to correct me for 100%. They're going to have the phonetic spelling in the comment section. It's okay. That's all right. All right. I'm not going to be right at everything. I don't want to be. This is a team effort here. All right. All right. So let's move on down here. I might mispronounce something from time to time. I might misspeak from time to time. I might stutter from time to time. That's how it goes. That's life, everybody. That's life. All right. So let's continue on here. It says the SEC countered by asserting that cryptocurrency regulation does not fall within its jurisdiction. Okay. The commission stated, quote, the securities laws do not obligate the commission to adopt rules such as those proposed by Coinbase, unquote. The SEC views its mandate as maintaining fair, orderly, and efficient markets. Wow. Still, it has been vague about whether it considers cryptocurrencies to be securities, a crucial point for regulatory clarity. In response to Coinbase's move, the SEC further contended that comments by its chairman, Gary Gensler, do not constitute official policy. I mean, SEC is it's just my humble opinion. You could disagree. I respect your opinion. I'm not here to convince anybody of anything at all. But the SEC, in my opinion, is completely out of control. So hypocritical. And it's unbelievable. They say all of these things and then they say, well, no, this is not official. You know, every expert around the world, the arrogance also, every expert around the world says that there has to be new legislation, new laws, new regulatory frameworks for crypto. It's a new asset class. It's nothing. There's never been anything like it before. Every expert around the world says this. OK, you even have Harvard Law backing up with 2 different documents. And yet certain individuals and the SEC are going to say, no, all the experts are wrong. The whole world is wrong. We're right. What? Pride. They used to say this in ancient times. Pride comes before the fall. We will see. You know, we will see. So now let's move on to another article here. So this article is from newsbtc.com. And it's titled, XRP Ledger on fire. We on fire. Up in here, it's burning hot. We on fire. Who made that song? Who made that song? It says, according to the latest report by research firm Messari, the XRP Ledger saw a significant surge in activity during the first quarter of 2023. The daily active addresses and daily transactions increased by 13.9% and 10.7% quarter over quarter, respectively. XRP's price also showed an impressive increase of 56% quarter over quarter. Wow. From 35 cents to 54 cents. This price increase outpaced the total crypto market cap in the same period. largely due to positive news regarding the ongoing case between Ripple and the Securities Exchange Commission. XRP Ledger network activity soars. The XRP Ledger, okay, we know what XRP Ledger is. They go into a little bit of that. Let's scroll down here, see if they have anything else. It says here, despite 141,000 accounts being deleted in Q1, the total addresses increased. This is because, unlike many other blockchain networks, the XRPL allows accounts to be deleted to reclaim the deposit of XRP escrowed during account creation. This escrow incentivizes to delete of accounts. Okay, I guess they meant the deleting of the accounts. And the total address metric has more significance. According to the report, the XRPL applies deflationary pressure to the total supply of 100 billion XRP through transaction fee burning. However, only around 10 million XRP have been burnt. Pause. Wait, just imagine when everything is up and flowing and XRP is being constantly used and constantly burned. If Ripple can pull off what they're saying, or Volante or whoever else is using XRPL, and all of these banks are using it, big and small, central and private and public banks, commercial and businesses as well. If they do that, imagine how much XRP can be burned, right? We'll see. All right. Things are looking good right now. That's how I personally feel. So now let's move on to another article here. This article here is from zcrypto.com and it's titled, Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse blames confusing U.S. crypto rules for flow of investment to Europe and Asia. Hey, wait. Don't forget Latin America, right? All right. Let's read a little tidbit here. It says, regulations play a critical role in reshaping the global cryptocurrency business, which is undergoing considerable changes. In a recent CNBC interview, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse underlined the regulatory uncertainty that U.S. crypto companies must deal with. He voiced concerns that this unpredictability is suppressing innovation and driving business to look for more benevolent countries. In the interview, he said, quote, frankly, it's why you're seeing entrepreneurship and investment flowing into other jurisdictions. And certainly Europe has been a significant beneficiary of the confusion that has existed in the US. And that's only going to continue, especially because they're going to be rolling out MiCA legislation, MiCA crypto rules in 2024. So I expect that to increase dramatically. So Garlinghouse's worries are shared by several industry players who contend that regulatory clarity is crucial for promoting innovation, luring investment, and guaranteeing customer protection. Yet, while other nations have proactively worked to provide a supportive regulatory environment for cryptocurrencies, the United States has come under fire for moving too slowly in this direction. There's so many problems there. Corruption, arrogance, sabotage. Sabotage. There's a lot of money coming from outside of the United States that are controlling different entities within the United States. I mean, so it's not, they don't have a vested interest to make sure that the United States stays at the forefront, in my humble opinion. So, I mean, you have a lot of that going on as well. But let's continue on here. It says Garlinghouse indicated that more cryptocurrency businesses might think about moving or expanding their operations abroad due to the regulatory uncertainties in the United States. Yeah, sure. And it's been holding everything back, everything. And I mean, because the United States has so much power, I've said this before, I know I'm reiterating, and we have a lot of new people here on the channel as well. But because the United States has such a big influence, they're holding back a lot of other countries as well, who are hoping that the United States gives them the green light, gives them the go ahead. They don't want to step on their toes. So this is a bad situation all around. Then on top of that, I had an article here. I don't think I have it up right now, but I read it earlier about politicians getting some sort of note. Did you hear about this? Politicians getting some sort of note that they're spreading around to go against crypto. You see what I mean? So this is the blockade I was talking about, that we're fighting against, right? And this is why things are taking so long. And unfortunately, we're not in control of the government. We're not in control of the regulators, Ripple, central banks, commercial banks. We're not in charge of any of that. All we can do is look at the catalyst and say, okay, this is what's going on here. This is what we believe, and everybody make up their own minds about when they think things are going to happen, how high it might go, do their own calculations. We only have power over what's tangible to us at this particular time. You get what I'm saying? But we're going to continue to fight. We're going to continue to push ahead. And I believe we're going to win this thing. Simple as that. So we have to keep that positive mind state, keep victory in sight. Do not be distracted. All right. Keep positive energies in the mind. That's going to help us to move forward. When those negative energies start coming in, we have to redirect those energies. Don't let the negative energies come into your mind, just take you over. I mean, I can't tell you what to do. All right. I'm just a humble researcher. I don't give life advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. I don't want to be any of that stuff. I'm just saying in general, I'm speaking for myself. When those negative energies start to creep in, you got to redirect it. Sometimes you can do that by reading some books. Sometimes you have to do that by turning off your phone, turning off, if it's not a safety issue, turning off the TV, getting away from the negative energies for a while, maybe exercising, do a little mixed martial arts goes a long way. Yoga, something that you enjoy peaceful to redirect that energy. If the negative energy is coming from this way, we're going to, is going this way, we're going to pull ourselves in that direction. You can always redirect it, right? And we're going to win, right? All right, so now let's move on to this next little bit of information here. So we have just a little bit of stellar related news. This was tweeted out by Danelle Dixon, all right? And it says, surprised? No. Proud? Always. And there's a little subtweet here from stellar.org, and it says, and the winner is Stellar Aid Assist, recognized for the best innovation in digital currency category at the #Digital Currency Conference 2023 Awards. This is great because there's a lot of powerful eyes that are viewing this, and they're going to say, wow, what is this company Stellar? Who is this company Stellar? What do they do? And how can I be a part of that? And then when they learn, hey, anything that we do on Stellar, we have full control over, and we can cut fees, and we can loosen up some capital, and we can send it near instantly, and there's so many things that you can do on Stellar. This is great. This is going to bring more eyes to Stellar, and that can bring more partnerships to Stellar. More partnerships means there's the possibility, not a guarantee. A lot of what we speak here, we cover a lot of facts from the articles, but a lot of what we speak here, we speak about potentiality. In the end, you have to make up your own mind on what you believe, all right? But more partnerships can possibly bring more capital in the future, right? Now, a lot of people, I understand, look, the world has been going through a tough time, been very tough. Everything's been volatile, mostly because we have a lot of people, just my humble opinion, a lot of people in charge. They really don't know what they're doing. They've been doing a bad job. In the West anyway, mostly like with the Fed and, certain other entities. They really don't know what they're doing, and they've been doing things for so wrong for so long and getting away with it. They're continuing that method. So things have been very volatile, very suppressed, but at the same time, keep in mind, so that holds things back a bit, but keep in mind, we're trying to change the infrastructures of the world. There's so many things that are tied to blockchain. It doesn't happen quickly, right? We have to let go of that meme coin energy, that NFT energy. And even NFTs have been struggling as of late, but like that meme coin energy where everything just takes off, and that was a fun time, that bull run. And I hope the bull run comes again. And you may have more times like that. But when you're talking about these types of software, these types of projects, Stellar, Ripple, you're integrating something with all of the systems of the world. You're talking about tokenization. They're trying to tokenize everything from the money to certain documentation when it comes to like payroll. They're into the medical industry, Algorand, gaming, music. So that type of thing takes some time. So you're looking at, these are solid, but I won't say solid, but these are definitely long-term investments. They're not something quick. I don't look at them like that. It's just like gold, for example, gold and silver. That's something I don't play with. Those are long-term investments to protect wealth, So, I look at them like that. I try to keep the context there, all right? But so far, they've been working at a breakneck pace over at Stellar and Ripple and Algorand. It's just a matter of, like I said, in the future, once we're loose, whenever that happens, can they actuate on everything? Then when they actuate on everything, where does it go? Via the catalyst? How much capital is actually going to flow through? It's an ongoing observation is what we're doing. And then we're adjusting as we move. And we're learning as we go. And the more we can learn, and the more full the picture becomes. That's how I look at it. All right, so now let's move on here. We have just a little bit more stellar news, I believe. Yeah, so this little bit here is from Stronghold. It says here, will hashtag D5 replace hashtag TradFi? It says, at it's Sean Bennett, Stronghold co-founder, delves deep into this burning question in our latest YouTube short. Watch now and discover how we bridge the gap between new tech and traditional finance. So if you go watch this video, the Stronghold video on their YouTube channel, what he's saying there, and this is I'm paraphrasing and this is my interpretation, is that a lot of the traditional finance industry still doesn't understand crypto. They still don't understand blockchain. So, and I said something like this recently, they're looking for companies to hand them infrastructure that already works, already functions. So when they're coming to these companies, they have to float the idea of what's the benefit. Right? Thank goodness that, things that are built on the bank coins have a tremendous benefit right now. And we're able to not only, provide digital sandboxes, but we're also able to provide full infrastructure that's already set up and ready to go, fully integratable, and then has full interoperability with legacy systems and traditional financial systems, right? So you can glue all of those things together when using something like Stellar, Quant, Ripple, Algorand. So that's what he was clarifying here. Things are looking good. I like what I was hearing from Stronghold. Seems like they're going to continue to push and work hard. So now let's move on to another little bit of news here. So this little bit of news here is from it's in relation to Algorand, from Algo Barat. Okay. And it says this, quote, India will be the hub of innovation, unquote, says Algorand's vice president and India country head Anil Kakani. Quote, there's so much room for disruption because millions of people still don't have access. I'm very bullish on the solutions that will be built on blockchain in the next 10 years. You see how their timelines are very long. They know that setting up all of these solutions, as he phrases it, takes time. It takes time. Some of these places, they were hot on the idea of blockchain, interested in but they're just now getting into it. And there's a lot of, a lot of decisions to be made, a lot of okays that have to be given, a lot of minds that have to be persuaded still. So we're still at the beginning. It's still a nascent industry. It doesn't matter how many years it's been around. Bitcoin's been around for a long time, but you're talking about utility. Utility has never gotten its fair chance to just run wild, right? So that's something that is still to come. But this I like to hear, because Algorand is very, deep in India. They've been doing a good job there. As far as what I can see, they're well diversified around the world as far as the offerings that they have, the industries that they're in. They're constantly pushing forward, becoming better and better. I know they're going to have this little battle at some point. It looks like it's going to be necessary with the SEC and such. And battle they will, just like Coinbase has to. Just like Ripple has to. Now, if Ripple wins their case against the SEC, I think Algorand is in the clear, to be quite honest. I mean, I don't think the SEC goes that hard against them if they lose this Ripple case. I could be wrong. I'm not a lawyer. But I'll say this. The use cases are so similar between the bank coins. It would be ridiculous for the SEC to fight any of the other ones. They can literally just copy the exact way that Ripple defeated the SEC, and they would win as well. I think that's logical. I'm just using pure logic. Of course, when you jump into the legal realm, anything can happen. But just coming from a purely logical standpoint, I think that's reasonable. So now let's move on here. So I still stand with Algorand. I believe in Algorand. I think they're going to be a great project in the future. They already went parabolic multiple times in the last bull run. Multiple times. Right? So, this second time around, I think they will do much better in the next bull run. Much better. All right. And down with the SEC. They're, in my humble opinion, right? They're completely corrupt. And, and hopefully that gets remedied. So now let's move on here to another little article. Okay. Hope everybody's doing well out there, having a good Friday. It's the weekend, folks. We did some good business. It was a tough week. One of those weeks that just beats you down. But we made it. We did good. We survived again. Did good business again. We're here. We're going to do some reading. We're going to do some working out. We're going to show some love to the people that are closest to us. We're going to continue to spread around a good energy because we're strong enough to do that. We're strong enough to make things good and better for ourselves. That's what we're going to continue to do. We're going to have a good weekend, right? All right. All right. So we moving on here. Good. I like that attitude. We're good. We're going to move on here. So now Bitcoin price risk. All right. Now that part I'm not focused on so much. Although I have a lot of people that are close to me that actually have some Bitcoin. They're in deep and I want to see them do well. And Bitcoin has been doing well, in my humble opinion. They greened themselves up. They negated a lot of problems that they used to have. Lightning Network, making things a little bit cheaper and faster. So it's been doing a good job. So, but that's not the part I want to focus on. I'm a Bankcoin person myself. Bankcoin, precious metals, things like that, a few stocks here and there. But it says here, U.S. debt deal to trigger $1 trillion liquidity crunch. That's the part to focus on, folks. Let's read this little tidbit here. It says Bitcoin price could drop to $20,000 in Q3 amid mounting worries about a potential cash liquidity crisis led by the U.S. Treasury Department. It says raising the debt ceiling means the U.S. Treasury could issue new bonds to raise cash to meet its previous obligations. As a result, the cash pile at the Treasury general account could increase by $95 billion in May to $550 billion in June, unbelievable, and $600 billion in 3 months afterward, according to the department's recent estimates. Ari Bergman, the founder of risk management firm Penso Advisors, estimates that the Treasury will cross $1 trillion by the end of Q3 2023. Quote, my bigger concern is that when the debt limit gets resolved, and I think it will, I believe that as well. They've done this before, come down to like the last few hours, then they made a deal, right? So that may happen again, I believe. It says here, you are going to have a very, very deep and sudden drain of liquidity. Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong. Listen, they do that, then bonds, look, they do that in conjunction with a possible Fed pause in June, which is questionable. I think that they should still raise the rate, to be quite honest. I said that a long time ago. I haven't changed my stance at all on anything. But they've changed their stance and they're saying that there may be a pause, a rate hike pause in June. If those two happen at the same time, bonds, people will be able to make some money with bonds. Am I right or wrong? Just you can correct me if I'm wrong. They'll be able to make some good money with bonds. So liquidity is going to come from other places like Bitcoin, gold. Expect those to go down. You'll have a strong dollar. Those bonds are going to make people disgusting gains. So they're going to go play. I mean, unless I'm wrong, and you can correct in the comment section, correct me if I'm wrong. You know, there's experts out there. All right. So it says here, quote, this is not something very obvious, but it's something that's very real. And we've seen before that such a drop in liquidity really does negatively affect risk markets. Well, not just risk markets. All right. People are going to take that liquidity. They're going to shave some profits off the top. They're going to drain a little liquidity from wherever they can to go play and other things such as equities and credit. In other words, the cash available to buy riskier assets like stocks, Bitcoin, and cryptocurrencies will all likely experience downward price pressure at some point after the debt ceiling is raised. All right, so now I'm going to leave that there. Once again, that's on Cointelegraph.com. They have a lot more there. They have some charts and some more information here about will Bitcoin price remain range bound, etc. Go check them out over there. They're doing a great job. All right. All right. So now let's go on here. This is from ForexLive.com. And it's titled Dollar Back in the Driver's Seat. Oh, no. We don't want that. We don't want the dollar in the driver's seat. If you're making money like how we make money, when the dollar gets strong, everything else gets crushed. All right, it's like having what's the dude from Fight Club in the driver's seat? Was he in the driver's seat? And Tyler Durden is telling him to let go of the wheel, and you're sitting in the back seat, and you're like, oh no, and he lets go of the wheel. It's like that. It's rocky for certain things. Let's read this little tidbit here. It says, once again, it was a day where the dollar rose despite equities rallying late as higher bond yields continue to underpin the currency. And it was definitely helped out by headlines like these. Fed insider Timmy Rayos, Fed members suggest June rate rise will be a close call. Fed's Logan, data at this time does not support skipping rate hike at the next meeting. See, we covered that article yesterday. If you didn't see that video, this is a good video. There's a lot of chapters. Each chapter is a different article there. I think we covered that one. It says that resulted in another further shift in Fed rates pricing, with traders now seeing just over 30% odds of a 25 basis point rate hike. For some context, it was closer to 10% at the start of the week. Well, of course, when you have a Fed member coming out saying something like that, that puts a little bit more dirt in the water, so to speak. It says the dollar is benefiting as a result, even if tech stocks are rallying strongly on a breakout of its own. In particular, the EUR USD broke back below 1.08 yesterday, while the USD JPY has jumped above 138 to its highest level for the year. I'll get to the individual charts in a bit. Okay, so we're going to skip the charts a little bit. If you want to see that, go to forexlive.com. All right, so now let's move on to another article here. So we're going to end off today with a little bit of gold news. And this is from UBS.com. UBS is super bullish on gold. I'm bullish on gold as well, but I do expect, and I have expected, if you've been listening to the gold chapters since last year, you'll understand, and you know that I've been saying that because there's a lot of newcomers to gold, a lot of newcomers. And so they flooded in. Like, we got in when gold was at a super low and deep, right? And a lot of newcomers have flooded in because of the banking crisis, which that's still questionable. We have to watch those banks coming up soon. There's still 722 at risk. So let's keep an eye on that. But they came in and they were never expecting to be long term. They simply went into gold to protect their value because they didn't trust banks and they don't want to leave all of their capital in Bitcoin. So a lot of people went to gold. So gold price went up significantly. Those people, I have been saying, were going to liquidate. They were going to pull some of that capital. They have gold cards. They're going to spend it at the store. They're going to spend it on bills, or they're going to liquidate that and just have it in cash. We had an article in the last video. Once again, it was on cash. And I showed experts saying how they took a survey. This was, I believe, Bank of America saying that people are sitting on cash now. Now, while a lot of us wouldn't just hold cash because, you know, about the value and the fluctuation of the value of the dollar, things like that, BRICS nations rapidly diminishing the value of the US dollar are trying to attempt to inflict enough damage where there in the future will be a diminishing of the value of the dollar. But a lot of people don't know that. So they're taking capital out of gold and then they're putting it into cash and just have cash at home. A lot of them don't like to have gold bars, gold bricks and coins and like that, and silver coins and silver bars and such. They don't like that. They like to have cash, all right? They believe cash is king. I can respect that. That's their path. But because of that, all of that type of thing coming out of gold is going to come down a little bit and has come down a little bit. But as the struggle continues, if we're going into a light version of a depression, getting a little deeper into that, some people say recession, whatever it is, as circumstances get a little bit harsher, that money will come back in, theoretically speaking, right? And then if anything else happens with banks, you're going to see that money flood back in once again. Trust in the banks is at an all-time low. The banks around the world buying at record rates. You can look all of this up. Don't just take my word for it. Look everything up and then you can see for yourself and decide for yourself what you believe, right? But we've shown the articles here on the channel, but banks around the world buying record amounts of gold. So yeah, so all of that happening as the year goes on, I would expect logically the price would go back up. We've seen some good volatility. There's been pretty good volatility in my humble opinion. And then don't forget we've seen some pretty good volatility out of gold, platinum, and silver as of late, right? All right, so now it says here, the gold price has come off its recent high as U.S. President Joe Biden expressed confidence in avoiding a government default amid progress in debt ceiling negotiations, better U.S. data, and hawkish comments coming by some Fed members. At around USD 1,975 an ounce at the time of writing, gold is now around 4% lower than the year-to-date high reached earlier this month. Okay? So you knew that was going to come down. It's a good pullback. It's a healthy pullback. It says, however, the yellow metal remains, this is the thing to keep in mind as well, remains 8.2% higher since the start of the year. And we think it's likely to break its all-time high later this year with multiple mid to longer term drivers. Listen, like I said, I'm bullish on gold as well, but I understand there's volatility. I understand, watch the catalyst. I wouldn't just read something like this and say, yeah, this is definitely going up, 100% going up. I'm going all in. It's going up. And then, you know, you get in at a high. You're not understanding the catalyst. Listen, we're trying to make money. So what I'm saying is, I think people should know all the details. Read multiple articles, have multiple sources at all times, and make up your own mind. Never go just by what someone else says. I'm bullish on gold, yes, but I also know that there's a multitude of catalysts to watch, right? The Fed is one of them. If they can pause, if they do take a pause in June, and let's say they go raise rates in July, they raise rates in August, when's the next time they might pause? You see what I'm saying? Like there's these unknown variables. So the catalysts matter, right? Okay, so it says here. So I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to remain balanced in my viewpoint. I don't want to lean too much this way, that way, or put these blinders on and exist in ignorance. I need balanced information. It says here, central bank demand should remain robust. Okay, we were just talking about that. Last year marked the 13th consecutive year of net gold purchases by global central banks and the highest level of annual demand on record dating back to 1950 at 1,078 metric tons in 2022. So that's another thing. Let me pause there. My apologies. But if the BRICS nations, that's something I keep take into account. There's a few things. Number one, Zimbabwe and different Africa countries that may follow in the footsteps of Zimbabwe, issuing either gold-backed currencies or gold-backed digital assets. They just did something like that the other day. That could definitely have an impact on gold as we go into the future over time. All right. Texas having the desire to have gold-backed digital assets. That could have an impact. I'm watching both. And then the BRICS nations' common currency, if they back that common currency with gold, then all the details of that, all the semantics of that could impact the price of gold. But these are catalysts that have to be watched over time. We're watching. So central banks buying gold more than doubled from 450 metric tons in 2021. Based on the 1Q23 data from the World Gold Council, central banks are on track to buy around 700 metric tons of gold this year. My word. It says here, broad US dollar weakness supports gold. This is what I was saying earlier. If the dollar is weak, gold goes up. If the dollar is strong, gold might go down. Okay, so there's this fluctuation there. Let me read it from them. It says, direction of a weakening dollar is clear, with the U.S. Fed having signaled a pause in its current tightening cycle after 500 basis points of rate hikes over the past 14 months. Other major central banks, meanwhile, remain on track to do more to fight inflation, with the European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde saying there was, quote, more ground to cover, unquote. We believe the reduction in U.S. yield carry will continue to weigh on the greenback. Oh, so that's significant also. Gold has historically performed well when the U.S. dollar softens, aka weakens. Look for the weak dollar. It says due to their strong negative correlation, and we see another round of dollar weakness over the next 6 to 12 months. I can say that I concur with that, but I'm keeping my eyes open. All right, so now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.